we've done now is put the filter here, so it's picking up before the biological media, which is in here, and then it's shooting back here. So you can see now our water flow going back into the aquarium is way, way better. Now the other thing we're going to be aware of too is making sure this area here doesn't get really dirty, because if that banks up and gets really dirty, it can actually sort of flick water. Whereas at the moment, you can see that it's not flicking water in any way, shape or form. But if you do find that this level starts to raise up, then giving that sponge a bit of a clean is going to be a good option to stop it from flicking up. It's only going to flick up if the water can't get down through that sponge. And then we've got the water picking up here. So we're really wanting to make sure that the level doesn't go down too far, because if it goes down too far, then that strainer is actually going to be out of the water, and that means this filter actually will not work and will potentially even blow up. So getting a couple of extra pieces of that to put it down deeper would not hurt. Otherwise you just need to keep the tank topped up. So that's the normal recommended level, but I really wouldn't want it much lower than that right now. So just top it up a bit more regularly. Just call that your bottom, not your top, because I don't want that coming out of the water. And that's way better now. And then we've got to keep that sponge clean and make sure that it's aiming down. And then we're going to keep an eye on this level here, because we don't want it to fall too low. Now at the bottom here there's a grid, and that grid has to stay clean, because if the grid's really dirty and the water can't get into that back area, then suddenly there's a chance that the inlet is going to be out of water, and that's going to threaten the life of the pump. It's pumping way better. And all these ornaments, if any of them look crappy, the best thing to do is chuck them in the sun for a day, and the algae will sort of dry up and fall off, and then hit it with the hose, and often it comes out good as new. Now with plants, having a bit of plant in there for your turtle to eat is actually very good for them. It's really good for their digestive system, and it's something I highly encourage. But in a case like this, where you've only got a very thin layer of gravel, you've got no hope trying to root them. Now, with a turtle, you've sort of got no hope anyway. So it's very much like trying to keep a Burke's backyard with a Kelpie. So a lot of it is good luck. But if you got yourself like a nice pot, like, I'm not saying this, but find something that's a good sort of 4 to 6 inches deep, and then you put gravel in it. You could even put a fertilizer tablet in there if you wanted to. And then what you do is you snip off the last few centimeters here, like just snip that off right there. And then you plant it, and you put gravel in it. This gravel is quite good to use. And then put some large pebbles on top, because that way the large pebbles reduce the turtle's ability to rip them out. But that doesn't mean that she won't rip them out. She might rip them out, because once again, having that plant on the surface there is probably quite natural for him, and probably offering it a bit of cover. So I'm not at all against this, but it just doesn't look ideal, but it doesn't really have to. But having a pot with 4 inches of this gravel and then large pebbles on top, that with a little bit of hopes and dreams, and maybe, oh, I think I just got him trying to eat the fish there. She just had a really good go at the fish. Better luck next time, miss. The time when I leave, the aquarium often looks worse than when I got here, and that's because I've gone and disturbed everything. I've disturbed all the filters, I've disturbed all the gravel, and away we go. So I've just made a little bit of an arrangement in the corner, just full of hopes and dreams, trying to see if those plants will stay down. I think a pot might need to be arranged for that. I'd probably get like a nice rock or ornament to go there, because this is going to continually happen. So put like a nice rock there, and everyone's all looking, the turtle's loving life. Doing a good rearrange is wonderful for the animals, because it just gives them a whole new thing to explore. And as far as plants go, If you're keeping turtles, plants are full of hopes and dreams. But if your turtle does decide not to rip all the plants apart, which they normally do, then it's good to have a few basic understanding about plants. Now, the first thing about plants is you can be reactive with them. And the reason why I say that is that some people have got, let's say, this exact setup, and their plants grow like crazy. And other people can have this exact same setup, and then they find that over time their leaves go yellow. Now, if the leaves go yellow, we could add some fertilizer tabs because we want to increase iron and manganese and various things to fertilize the plant. You might also find you get this black algae growing all over the place, which you've got on that plant there. A bit of blackbeard algae. So you can use organic carbon, such as Carbomax or Flourish Excel. And what that does is create an organic carbon, which is used for the respiration of the plant and helps stop that blackbeard algae growing everywhere that can often look not so nice. And then if you notice your plant's falling apart, it often means there's not enough light. So you could increase the amount of light. And then if you notice holes in the leaves, then probably someone's eating it. So if you just grab your phone, make a little video of the situation, but also we want to video any bits and pieces you've got in your cupboard. We want to see your filters. We want to see your water ager, your fish food, anything that you've got, any supplements that you've got. We want to see it. And then you bring us a water sample and we can have a look at what's going on and we can test the water. And we can see if there's anything we could do to improve the situation for the plants or for the fish. This guy's really going after the fish today. So she is very keen to get herself a yummy, big, fat, rosy barb dinner. And the rosy barbs being in a group is really the best because that really allows the rosy barbs to have the best chance of evading the turtle. So there's one that's gone and wedged himself in there. Come on, Fatso, get out of there. He's gone and got scared up into the... Oh, she wants to go back. All good. But keeping fish with turtles, I think is great. I think it's great for the fish. Oh, sorry, it's not always good for the fish. It's good for the turtle because it definitely stimulates the turtle. And look at these little guys hiding out down there. It's a very natural predator. So the game of cat and mouse. Oh, look at this fella. G'day, big head. They're just such good pets. Like, I really recommend anyone with kids. A turtle is probably the cheapest and best value pet I think you're ever going to have. I think they're absolutely wonderful pets. They don't they usually don't run away, depending on what you do with them. They have good quality filtration and they won't smell. You can easily go away on holidays and they're fine while you're away. They don't bark at the neighbours. They'll certainly try to bite you, but I just think that they're just an absolutely wonderful pet. And I reckon anyone that doesn't have one, have a think about it. And it's so cool watching the fish buzzing in and out. And then you get to know your turtle. They've all got their own personalities. Some turtles like to be with other turtles. Some turtles like to be with fish. Some turtles just eat everything and just cause heaps of trouble. But that's all part of keeping an animal. So this guy is in very good condition. He could probably be fed a tiny bit more, but I'm very happy with the quality of this animal. So good quality water and good quality food. That's really lovely. Looking for more decorations to go in this tank. I would tend not to go with big solid rocks. I would tend to look for something hollow. And you want something hollow that's where the opening is far too small for the turtle to get in, but definitely able for the fish to get in. So there's lots of ornaments. Some look realistic and some look very ornamental. And I'd be wanting to put something in there that offers the fish a little bit more cover and is something hollow and not just taking up the water volume. What I wouldn't want to see you do is go and put like a big rock in there, because the rock isn't going to offer any cover for the fish. it's going to take up a considerable amount of the water volume, and it's not really going to offer us any value. So if we went for something hollow, something that the fish can easily get in and the turtle cannot easily get in, we do not want something that the turtle can get stuck in. Change is king. These turtle tanks, I want you to make sure the back is the same height as this, because if that starts going down, it could mean the grate at the bottom is dirty and the water's not getting in there. And what we don't want is that getting sucked down and then the pump that's in there. So there's a pump sitting in there. We don't want that pump picking up air, because if it does, it'll pick up air and it'll shoot the air down here, and then you'll get bubbling. And bubbling here, flick, flick, flick. So we don't want any of that business. So we want to make sure that sponge is relatively clean by pulling it out and just giving it cleaning water from the fish tank, not water from the tap. And we want to make sure this water in this section stays full. Then everyone's happy and we're not flicking stuff all over the TV. When you're adding water to an aquarium, it's really important that you use water ager, because if you're unlucky and they've just refreshed the chlorine in the tap water, you can kill off all your good bacteria and you can get yourself in a lot of trouble. But it's also relative to the amount you fill up. Like, for example, if you just filled up one can and chucked it in there and then tomorrow did another one, the use of water ager is not very important, because you're putting such a tiny amount of potential chlorine. The water in that diffuses very well and it's not really a problem. But if you're going to go fill up a fair bit, then suddenly this is a big problem, because your concentration of chlorine is going to be much higher. So just make sure that you add water ager to any new water, and that way you're not risking the chlorine. And so what you do is you fill the bucket up with water, add like a ml or two of the water ager, which is this one here, and then that will get rid of any chlorine and chloramone out of the water instantly. And no, you don't drink it. If you Google fat turtle, because it's important to know whether your turtle is skinny or fat, is that in this little section where the legs are, if you see the flesh all sort of bulgy, then you may find that the turtle is eating too much. So it's the fleshy bit around the leg that you sort of get an idea. Looking at this guy, I think this guy actually looks quite good. If there was no sort of fat around that area, then I would be worried about it not being fed enough. So it's good just to Google skinny turtle, fat turtle, and just get a little bit of an idea of what your animal should look like. I'm suggesting this guy is looking actually very good. But if you saw around where the legs connect to the shell and you saw that all fat and puffy, then you probably want to put it on a bit of a diet. But at the same time, if you're looking in that area around where the feet connect, if that looks pretty emaciated, then maybe you're not feeding enough. And you can even notice underneath the shell can even become a little bit convexed, or whatever the word is for that. So otherwise, if in doubt, make a video of the turtle and show it to someone that's actually a turtle expert. Not saying that I claim to actually be a turtle expert, by the way. But she looks really good.